All right. What's up, YouTube? Welcome in. This is the 5 to 9 Hustle. I'll be your host, Eric. It has been just a minute since I made a video. Mentioned in some previous ones, my wife has started a brick and mortar business, and I've been helping a lot with that. And really just didn't have the time for content creation. Didn't have the time to do much sourcing and listing as well. Been keeping the 5 to 9 going, but it's looked real different the last few months. But I think things are stabilizing, and I'm going to get back into the swing of things, get the store built back up, and start making some content again. So I decided to do a what sold video, all ties edition, because I had a large stockpile of unlisted ties. And since I have not been able to do as much sourcing out and about, I've been working through the ties. And when you list a lot of something, you sell a lot of something. So I think I've got about 300 ties listed right now. And for both September and October, I'm averaging about a tie a day. So I thought I'd show you some of what has been selling tie wise. If you're interested in ties, they do fit in well with what I like to do, um, in that they're easy to store, easy and cheap to ship, quick to list, quick to ship, all that kind of stuff. They just don't fly off the shelves. They're not super fast flips. Although quite frequently, if I list 10 ties in a day, within a week, usually one of those ties sells. So there are some good flips out there. And you'll see a theme as we go through this. There's one particular kind of tie that has been really flying off the shelves the last couple months. So let's start with this one. It's a Jerry Garcia tie. It happened to be new, and this sold for $18.95, free shipping. Some of these ties, just so you know, I may have sent out a 10 or 12% offer on, and the sale price might actually be a little lower, but I'm not going to take time to look that up. So with Jerry Garcia, what you want to look for are the big, bold, cool, abstract patterns, which most of them are, but some of them are very drab and boring, and those will tend to sit longer than these bright, colorful ones like we've got here. Um, so yeah, popular tie to look for. It's good that it's one that people actually search by brand. Um, I see people get super, super excited when they find one out in the wild. It's not really that exciting. A lot of them are, $12 to $15 types of ties, but a good overall seller, I would say. Alrighty. Here we have a Jeffrey Bean. I would not list very many Jeffrey Bean ties individually, but the key with this one is that it's extra long. And there is a group of buyers who look for extra long neckties. So in this case, even though it's a trash brand, it's a nice paisley pattern and extra long. Went ahead and listed it individually, and that did sell very quickly for full price, $14.95. So I would tend to list Jeffrey Bean extra long ties if they're good looking ties. Here we have a Don Loper. I see Don Loper in thrift stores all the time. I don't think I've ever thrifted one, but this came in my bulk buys of ties. And it's just a nice sort of statement piece. It's not a repeating pattern. It's just this one big floral image. Um, and a lot of times, this type of thing, I will use statement in the title, like a statement tie. I don't know if that does anything or not, but it's $12.95. That's what I got for it. All right, so here we have the first of our theme, and it's a rep tie. So Lauren Ralph Lauren is one of the trashiest of all trash brands. I would never thrift it or buy like shirts or pants from this brand. Um, and I had this tie in my cheap tie pile, which is ties that I'm going to lot up. But once I noticed that rep ties were selling fast, I went ahead and pulled this out, listed it by itself, and it sold very quickly, $12.95. And we'll get into what a rep tie is. This is actually another one. This is a vintage Tommy Hilfiger. It's a two pattern tie. They did this a lot in the 90s, where the skinny end is a different pattern. And things going for it, it's pink. It's nice stripes. That's really about it. Um, this has actually been listed a very, very long time, and it is actually a rep tie, but I don't have that keyword in the title. This probably would have sold a lot faster if I did. I just missed it on that one. Here's another Tommy Hilfiger rep tie. So this is your classic rep tie. It's striped. and it is what you want to verify you have a rep tie. What you want to find is this ribbed fabric. Okay, but again, $12.95, free shipping. Oh, and just so you know, almost all the ties you'll see in this video, my cost on them is 65 cents. So even if I can sell it for 12, 13 bucks, free shipping, I'm still, I went through for September and October, looked at all my sales, all my shipping labels, all the fees. I'm averaging about a $9 profit on ties. So I'm pretty happy with that. This is a random English vintage tie, Hardy Amy's. It seemed, when I looked it up, it seemed like a decent brand that held some value. This sold pretty quickly, $14.95. All the ties are free shipping. Club Room, I think this one was new. I would typically not list. Yeah, normally I'm not going to list a Club Room tie by itself. This one had a tag attached to it, so I did list it as new with tags and got 10 bucks for it, free shipping. We got another Jerry Garcia. A lot of them do have um, names. Here we go. They'll have a name and like what collection they're from. So I usually put that in the title. That's why I've got Snail Garden there. I don't know if people look for specific ones to collect them or not. Um, but yeah, so good bold red, blue, tan pattern. Jerry Garcia, $12.95, free shipping. We have a lot of two ties. So Express, is pretty cheap brand, not a lot of resale value. I had two of these ties from sort of the same color palette. They both got some purple going on. A nice paisley, a nice plaid, both skinny ties. So I just put them together as a lot and got $13.45 free ship on that. Here we have a no-name vintage tie. I listed this for two reasons. One, it is a rep tie, and it had the nautical embroidery with the anchors there. And this is one to remember. We'll talk about what a rep tie is a little later in the video, so you can start selling them. See the ribbed fabric. So this is a rep tie, technically, but it's not striped. So the thing to know is that most people, if they're searching for a rep tie, they're looking for a striped tie. Here we have another rep tie. This one is striped. Purple and gold, some random brand I'd never heard of. Again, once I figured out rep ties were flying, I just went through my big stack of ties and pulled out all the rep ties I could find and listed them. And you'll see some other brands that you would not normally think of listing that are selling well if it's a rep tie. It's Tommy Bahama. This tie was actually thrifted. I came across, someone had donated a collection. It seemed like there were 7, maybe 8 Tommy Bahama ties. And ties were on sale for $1. I don't really like paying more than $1 for ties, especially used. But I grabbed all the Tommy Bahama ones, and they've been selling pretty well. Big floral patterns. One had a hula dancer on it that sold right away. One has like martini glasses and stuff. It's not sold yet. I was surprised. I thought that one would sell fast. Here's Bar 3, just cheap department store brand, but a nice check pattern. And this is also new with tags. This came in a lot of 60 or 65 new with tags ties I bought. Someone had like some Macy's clearance or something like that. But yeah, $10.45 free ship on that. This is an extremely cheap tie. It's John Ashford. It's not a great brand. Basically, a brand that exists to be the cheaper option at a department store is usually not what you want to list. But I listed this. It was also polyester. That's one thing to know about ties. People get excited like silk tie, 100% silk. Silk is standard in ties. It's not like a special thing. So yeah, this is polyester. But I listed it because it's a nice plaid pattern, and it seemed to me like the kind of tie that someone might be looking to complete a specific look, like for a wedding or something like that. And that's why I have formal in the title. And this actually did sell inside of a month. Yeah, for $10.95 free ship. Polyester tie, go figure. Another Tommy Bahama tie. This is just a repeating palm tree pattern. $12.95 free shipping. All of Tommy Bahama's ties seem to be wide, too, or not wide, but right at 4 inches, so that, right at the borderline of wide. We have Land's End. Talk about a trash brand you're not going to thrift clothing from, except for vintage rugby shirts. But yeah, the rep ties I found, I had 4 or 5 lands and rep ties. They all sold quickly, and for cheap ties, decent money, 12.95, 14.95, etc. So yep, sold that just solely because it was a rep tie. Same thing here, J. Crew. You're not going to cherry pick a lot of J. Crew ties. This happened to be a rep tie, and really nice red, white, and blue kind of pattern going on. Got $14.95 for that, free shipping. I think it was even an outlet piece. No, not an outlet piece. And an older piece because it's got the old J. Crew, the green tag is older. And here we have a Stacy Adams, real hit or miss brand with ties. A lot of them do well, some of them don't. I don't know. But I thought, certainly a label is worth listing by itself as an individual tie. It was a pretty nice pattern too, this sort of brown, gold tone check kind of thing. $17.95 free shipping. I'm pretty sure that one sold on an offer of 10 or 12% off, so a little bit less, but great tie sell for me. And the last one here is Stephen Land. This is a brand that I looked up. It just seemed like it had a lot of value and interest. So I went ahead and listed it. It's brown. It's got polka dots on the big end and smaller ones on the little end. This is a gold tag thing. Yeah, not a brand I knew, but went ahead and listed that one as well and got $17.95 free ship on that. So big thing with ties is I think anyway, I feel that there's more browsing that goes on in the tie categories versus looking for a specific make or brand of tie. I think people do shop a lot for specific colors, patterns, events. It's a little less brand driven. Um, Certainly, there's some luxury brands that are great, but you really want to have a great main photo and then just list great looking ties, and you can have success in the category. So quickly, I want to cover what is a rep tie, and I'll link to this article. It's drakes.com. They have a great piece on the history of it. But this is the key paragraph here. So it is a classic piece of the British wardrobe. And a lot of people think of rep as being a misspelled abbreviation of repetition, indicating the repeating stripes. So like I said, the general tie buying, fashion wearing public, to them a rep tie is a striped tie with the ribbed fabric. But that ribbed fabric is actually called rep silk, and it's REPP silk. So it's one of those things, it's nice to know and it's nice to be correct and list your ties correctly, but just know, like what I did with the anchor tie, I still think it's good to have the keyword in there just so people will see it if they're searching rep ties, but most people are looking for a striped tie when they search rep tie. And so I already covered it is the ribbed fabric. It's not always vertical. A lot of times it runs the same direction of the stripes. And other times you will see it like this, where just the stripes are ribbed, or vice versa. So in that case, what I do, I still want to get rep in my title, and I'll just specify in the description, like this is blue with red rep silk stripes. So running low on battery here. And then just generally speaking, there are hundreds of thousands of ties listed, but if you use rep in your title as a keyword, and I'm on buy it now, use, I'm in the tie category, we only have 569 results. So if people are specifically looking for rep ties, you want to make sure you've got that keyword in your title if you do have a rep tie. Really cuts out a ton of competition. And then I mentioned they were flying, so let's see here. We've got 569 actives, and we've got 204 solds. So that's probably somewhere around a 30% quarterly sell-through rate. Like I said, if you're looking at shirts or jeans or something, it's not a fantastic sell-through rate, but 10% a month for any kind of tie is pretty good. I think the overall average sell-through rate for used ties on eBay buy it now is 4 or 5%. So rep ties are flying off the shelves at double that pace. So if you have any Reptiles in a pile somewhere, go and list them right now. Thanks for watching. Like I said, I hope to be a little more consistent with content moving forward, and appreciate you guys being here.